Greetings, salutations, happy Wednesday, May the 6th, 2026. It's, 46 days from summer? Kind of can't believe that either. Did I get that even right? I don't even know. I don't think it's 46. It's, 46. That is correct. 46 until summer begins. It's my wife's birthday, so we've got that going on. My friend Kate's birthday as well, so we got a bunch of birthdays. My birthday's coming up on Friday, so it's birthday season. I've got my niece and my nephews all have birthdays within this time period. My nephew has his birthday on the same birthday as me, Friday. So May is just, it's spring. I guess people spring as well, not just flowers. So here we are in birthday season. How many birthdays do you have in your life right now? Probably a bunch, I'm guessing, if the trends hold. But first, let's get to a little bit of trivia that you didn't know you couldn't live without, and that is on this day in 1851, Dr. John Gorey patented an ice machine. 1851. Can you imagine life before the ice machine? I mean, you see the old movies where the ice truck comes around, they drop a big block of ice that you got to kind of chip off of for the day. Also, and I'm not, I'm not a huge baseball fan. I'm not an anti-fan. I'm not anti-baseball. I just don't know all the stuff, okay? And living out in the Northeast in the U.S., people are really into baseball. I mean, I've been in rooms where people start talking and they know the stats, they know all the players from way back when. And I mean, it's just, I can't relate to that. But Babe Ruth hit his first home run on this day in 1915. So 111 years ago. And finally, and this one I do relate to a little bit more, the Channel Tunnel, more commonly known as the Chunnel, linking England and France, opened on this day in 1994. 94, the Chunnel opened. I remember crossing the English Channel in, it had to be early 80s, about 10 years before the Chunnel was finished. I'm pretty sure they were working on it already, but it did not exist. And so we were on a ferry in France overnight, watched Raiders of the Lost Ark for the very first time, crossing the English Channel on a ferry when there was no Chunnel. So it's really easy to forget, how these things really change life quite dramatically. And all right, so you're probably wondering, if you're listening to this and if you're one of my regular listeners, where the hell have you been? And a couple things. One, it's just been very, very busy. But two, I've been really thinking about, as we pivot to a more behind the scenes, bigger stage behind the scenes, backstage kind of vibe, the frequency, the cadence that's required for that. And I think this is where I've landed. I think that for now, and this might change, I think we're going to go to 1 day a week because the daily is not working for me anymore. The daily was more about standing up the business, standing up the stage in the first place, and kind of, keeping track for myself really of the journey emotionally and in other ways on a daily basis. Now the stage is set, and it's a different game. And so I think what's resonating with me now is to check in once a week and have a bit of a summary. And I think the day that hits me as being probably the best for that would be Friday. So we're going to switch to a Friday cadence, kind of summarize learnings, happenings, events, preview you as an insider on things that are coming, and see where we land on that. So there may be bonus episodes, but I think now we're moving to an every Friday cadence. I'll at some point update the platforms to indicate that. But I think we're going to go to Fridays. And So what's going on? I mean, it is Wednesday, so this will be, I guess, technically a bonus. I'm working on this, what I'm calling iconic conversations. And I'm super excited about this. Going to do the first one at the end of May. It's going to be an application process. We're going to limit it to 20 people plus me, so maximum 21 people in the room, with a special guest who's some kind of expert in something. And then I'll interview them at the gate. So it'll be like being an audience member at first, and then there will be audience participation. So people can pose questions. We'll go into breakout rooms where people will get to know each other, get to know some people they don't know, and also work on whatever it was that we're talking about. So the first one's going to be May 28th. It'll be noon Eastern time. I'm sending out an email to my mailing list. So if you're not on my mailing list, you might want to get on my mailing list. Send me a note, matt@mattstone.co, and I'll add you. I need to update the intake on that, so I'll just do it manually if you send it to me. Tell me why you want to be on the list. What I send out on the list are notes about podcast episodes, and now about special opportunities, offers, and events. And eventually I'm going to layer on some thought leadership, or if you want to call it thought leadership, or sharing some more longer form written content. So that's what the mailing list is for. It's not uber segmented at this point, but it's step by step. That's how we build it. So the next one is going to be with my friend Shannon Hernandez. Met her here, and then she has since moved with her spouse to Spain, Valencia, Spain. But she's a messaging expert. She has a company called Joyful Business Revolution. We're going to talk about, the personal identity as part of the business owner's messaging. How to bring yourself into your messaging in a way that isn't oversharing, violating your privacy, but giving people a real sense of who you are and how that impacts, whether they want to work with you or not, or your business. That's sometimes a bit of a tricky line. So we're going to talk about identity, sharing, messaging. We'll get into a bit of her personal story as well as part of that. She's gone through a number of big transitions in her life and adjusted to it. She's also very artistic. She's folding in painting into her story. Well, she's been doing that for a while, but she's elevating it, I should say. So I'm really excited to talk to her about that, about what it's been like to completely change different countries and change the way she's thinking about her business and how she serves people now too. So there's always going to be a little bit of extra value from just the personal narrative of the guests. So we'll start with Shannon, and then we'll start building on that, and we'll add in some different types of people to come in and do the interview and work with an exclusive group of people. So look out for that. I'll be sending out the message today, and we'll have an application process, short application in a Google form, and then we'll approve those within 3 days of the application being submitted. It's not a guarantee everyone's going to get accepted. We are looking primarily for people who are founders. That's where the target's going to be. Those are the types of people that are grappling with the kinds of issues that we're going to be dealing with. So founders and people who support, work with, contract with founders. But that's all laid out in the form. So look out for that. If you're listening to this, again, I'm going to send that out to our mailing list today. I don't think I have time to do it before my live show starts in an hour, but it will go out this afternoon to everybody. All right, so that's the latest. It's called Iconic Conversations. First one, May 28th. Super excited about that. I've got an exclusive dinner I'm working on with another partner and some other things as we swashbuckle our way to a bigger stage together. All right, I'm so glad you're listening to this. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I think this next chapter is going to be very exciting as we narrow the focus, make the offerings more interesting, fun, entertaining, and premium, and really start speaking to people with even more clarity and power. All right, so how are you going to be focusing on your own clarity and power in whatever realm matters to you? I guess that's my question for you. I always like to leave you a question that hopefully stimulates some kind of thought that's useful for you. Thanks as always for listening. Please be good to yourself and others, and we will check back again with you Friday for our first official Friday end of week backstage show. See you then.